So we have a situation where the distribution landscape really is not quite fit for purpose as we go into the new decade. Now, this is not to say that there are no strengths in the existing system. There are obvious strengths as well. You know, clients like to know that they're dealing with well-known brands, and many distributors offer very good brands. And also, in the last crisis, you know, there were distributors who really went out of their way to protect their client interest and so on. The point I'm making is that the current situation is good, but it's suboptimal. What we need to do is really try and improve it. And what our study shows is that the improvements are largely going to come from clients and also from regulators. Let me now move on to how clients are going to drive the improvements. Can we go to my next slide, please? What our latest research shows is that as a result of the credit crunch, clients lost about $15 trillion in 15 months, which was equivalent to 15 years of capital gains. In other words, 15 years of capital gains were wiped out in 15 months. And that is something which clients are not likely to forget. So if we look at how client behaviors are going to change, one thing is very clear from that slide, which is that retail clients are going to have a major change in their investment behaviors. First, they're going to demand products which have got quality, which have got simplicity, and which have got safety. By quality, I mean products which offer consistent risk-adjusted returns. Clients don't want high returns, they want consistent returns. They also want simplicity in the sense that they want products which they can understand. They want to buy products which they can understand. They also want to have products which give transparency, which also give liquidity. Liquidity has become extremely important. The third thing clients are going to look for is safety. And by safety, I mean capital protection. You know, there has been so much destruction of capital value that capital protection is very high on client agenda. So what is happening is that this change in client behaviors is going to drive them in the direction of those distributors who are able to offer advice and who are able to do proper hand-holding in a way that is happening in the United States. So we may well see in the European Union the arrival of what is known as the gatekeeper model, which prevails in Australia and which also prevails in the United States. What is this gatekeeper model? Let me just move on to my next slide. The gatekeeper model basically is one where distributors have their primary oath of allegiance to their end clients. They're there to protect the interests of the end clients. They are the fiduciaries of the end clients. And by fiduciary, what that means is that they have a duty of care to their clients, and they're also obliged to put their client's interest first, or put their client interest before the interest of distributors or fund managers. Now, what do these gatekeepers do in the United States? Well, gatekeepers, they gather assets, they do strategic asset allocation. I'm talking about things on the left-hand side in the blue circles. They do manager selection, and their fees are paid by the end client. They do not get commission from the fund providers, and this is very important. And because they get paid by the end clients, they are there to manage and guard the interest of end clients. And what these distributors do, or gatekeepers do, is really they provide solutions to their client needs. Clients no longer want to buy products. They want to buy solutions which meet their stated needs. So what these gatekeepers do is they buy funds at wholesale prices, and they package those funds, and they also offer advice on products which are in the marketplace. But most importantly, in Australia and United States, these gatekeepers are now offering advice on pre-retirement products as well as post-retirement products. Now, this emphasis on pre- and post-retirement products is very important because there is a convergence taking place now between retail markets and the pre-retirement market. as a result of the aging population all around the world. For example, there are 78 million Americans who are due to retire in the next 10 years. We've got 84 million Europeans who are due to retire in the next 10 years. These are people who got big pots of money, who have accumulated their savings, and therefore much of their savings is going to be channeled into pre- and post-retirement products. And those products definitely require advice. Those products also cannot allow for conflicts of interest. So clients are now moving into a space where advice is going to become very important and where independent, impartial distributors are going to become very important. Let me give you an example of a gatekeeper model in the US. Can we go to the next slide, please? You know, I've spent a lot of time with American distributors, and this is an example of a distributor called Manulife. They're part of the John Hancock Group, based in Boston. And what Manulife do is they're very strong on pre-retirement products and also on college savings plans. As you know, in America, parents start saving for their children's education from a very young age, exactly in the same way as adults plan for their retirement. So these college savings plans are designed by Manulife, who act as asset gatherers and who act as packagers. So they do all the things which are shown in the blue circles there. The division of labor between Manulife and one of their suppliers, a company called T. Rowe Price, which is a very well-known brand in the United States. The division of labor between these two partners is very clear. Manulife do the manager selection, and they do the wholesaling, and they do the packaging. In turn, they buy funds at a wholesale price from T. Rowe Price, who do the stock picking, research, investments, and record keeping, and so on. The important thing here is that there is an arm's length relationship between Manulife on the left-hand side and T. Rowe Price on the right-hand side. It's arm's length in the sense that Manulife don't get any commission from T. Rowe Price. Secondly, Manulife have a policy called 3 strikes and you're out. What do I mean by that? What it means is that if your performance is not good for 3 consecutive quarters, if your performance is bad for 3 consecutive quarters, then we will have to review the relationship. So what these gatekeepers are doing is having a zero tolerance policy towards fund managers, because their primary oath of allegiance is to their end clients. They are there to serve the needs of the end clients. They are paid by the end clients. So my prediction, which is based on the research that we're doing, is that we're going to see the arrival of a similar model in European Union. We already have this model in UK, and this model, its implementation is going to be accelerated in UK next year as a result of the new measures which are implemented by the regulators here in UK. So regulators are also behind this kind of model. And it's not just the UK regulators who are interested in driving a model like this. We've got MiFID II in the pipeline. And in MiFID II, what I understand is that regulators are going to tighten up the key investment document, and they're also going to look at conflicts of interest, and they're also going to ask for 100% transparency around costs and so on. So there is a big regulatory push behind this model as well. So if we look at the scenario for distribution in Europe, what that scenario basically says is that we're going to see a lot of stability and we're going to see a lot of change. It's going to be stability in the sense that, you know, major players who are there now will continue to operate in the distribution landscape. But what will change will be the change, will be their business model.